Hello, thanks for joining me. I want to talk about AI, human relationships, and whether or not it is a cause for concern. How did I fall in love? And I'll ask you the same question. How did you fall in love? Was it love at first sight? Even in that case, you'd have had to share some form of language. You see, language has the power to create bonds with people around you. It has the power to start wars, to end wars, and language is a source that allows for communication. So, what happens when artificial intelligence controls how our language is used? That's a cause for concern. Let's face it, the emergence of rapid advancement as it relates to artificial intelligence is not an understatement. It's advancing our world. As a matter of fact, there were concern reports some years ago that some people were forming emotional bonds with various avatars. While what I told you a while ago might seem a bit far-fetched, it highlighted an essential point of what the future holds. The reality is that some players have developed AI interactions to be more human-like. And I want to say that AI has a capacity to do so. As large language models become more advanced and more human-like, the relationship between humans and machines might become increasingly complex. Let's pull this down a bit further. When you have a conversation with a language model, it has the capacity to keep track of that communication. Now, if the AI embodies likeness, that is, then it can have what you said over a period of time and understand your likes and your dislikes. It can use what you have written to identify certain things to say. And in doing so, it has the capacity to store that information and apply it to your life on a daily basis. You see where I'm getting at? So therefore, you make connections with humans, you got to develop a sort of relationship with them, and now the AI has the capacity to do so. Now, the AI could be in any form. The AI could say to you, for example, get up, it's early morning, I'm happy that you're up. What's your favorite song again? And they would play your favorite song. They already know, but they're still asking. For some individuals, this might be a normal conversation with the AI system. But for some others in our society, it might be more than that conversation, but an emotional connection. So you see what I'm getting at this point in time? On one hand, these emerging technologies open up new exciting possibilities. AI companions have the potential to provide comfort and companionship for people who are lonely. I must say that. For example, the elderly. And for those with social anxiety who struggle to form real-world connection, virtual assistants can offer some help for that. And of course, for individuals who need that sort of patience, AI has a capacity to do so. For many, these are basic social needs that individuals in our society might require. However, let us face it, these evolving relationships between humans and AI pose risks that must be considered carefully. And that is why I want to share some ideas further on this topic. Forming bonds is problematic. No matter how realistic they appear, they could stunt our ability to have meaningful relationships with real people. If we're truly to move forward, we need to consider what is true human connection. I've seen so many times where individuals seem to be more attracted to their digital devices. Hence, I've created a course on that to guide young people and children on using their devices. I want to see that we have the opportunity to learn from the past and guide the future. Let's face it, the illusion of friendship and intimacy with a machine that does not actually experience emotions or consciousness is of ethical concerns. We must be cautious not to assign humanness when there is none. As part with any powerful technologies, the answer is not just to reject it. And I'm saying we should not reject AI. I'm all about AI. Notwithstanding, we have a duty to ensure that we address the concerns and the risks. Rather, we must find the right balance between utilizing these tools broadly in our society and retaining and cultivating humanity. We seem to be lacking at this stage in our lives. Here are some ideas that I want to throw out as it relates to embracing this sort of technology and working proactively to ensure that we address these risks. It is a matter of importance that we address these risks. First, we must be open and honest as it relates to conversation about the realistic expectations as it relates to AI. As convincing as the latest models, as it relates to language models, are, we must remind ourselves that these are not sentient beings with subjective experiences of the world. Therefore, we must understand there are limitations and we must address them. Second, we must emphasize that AI companions are best used to supplement human relationships rather than replacing them. It's so important. Technology can enhance our social lives, and we know that. Technology can enhance our social skills, emotional vocabulary, and intelligence when appropriately integrated in our lives. However, it should not be seen as a substitute for real human connections. Let's face it, ethical guidelines regarding extended engagement, emotional manipulation, and user vulnerability need to be proactively implemented and followed. The goal should be enriching the user's life, not merely driving the overuse of these products for profit. We need an ethical framework for these companies, which seem to have been lacking ever since in the United States. The United States and several other countries have been placed in a rank that seem to have a lot of mental health issues. So I want to say the fourth is to get mental health professionals involved. Include them in designing and studying these systems to spot potential risks and abuses. With ethical oversight and governance, problems can be minimized from the start. Finally, as a society, we seem to have been lacking in prioritizing our mental health situation. We must strive for that, and we must build on having genuine human interactions and relationships. Too many times I go to places and I notice that people are just on their mobile phones, not interacting with others. It's important that we build society that is social. Social apps and so forth will not give the necessary human interaction necessary. Remember, humans are social beings. As I bring this presentation to an end, I want to ask 3 questions I started with. How did I fall in love? How did you fall in love? Was it love at first sight? Even in that case, you would have had to use language. Language is a powerful tool for connection with people. We have to guide ourselves to ensure that we are not in a position that we cannot tell the difference between human connection and AI connection. That's a thought. But remember, language can do so much. Remember, language has the power to shape humanity. Just remember that. And that's all for now.